What's up guys, it's Kyra and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am coming to you guys with my top 5 favorite full coverage foundations, not only for women of color, but also for oily skin. You guys know that I do have oily skin. Well, first of all, let me just say, you guys seem to love the concealers edition, where I had listed out my top 5 concealers, or full coverage concealers for women of color. You guys seem to love that video, and I got a bunch of requests to do one for foundations. So here I am. Now, like I said, I do have oily skin, so I tend to gravitate towards foundations. Not so much dewy foundations because of my oily skin. They typically just don't work. But I love good full coverage foundations. I also love very natural skin finish or skin light foundations as well. And just foundations that look good throughout the entire day, that, you know, control my oil, but still look good throughout the duration of, you know, the day of me wearing it. And foundations that I believe that really hold up. So I actually have 6 foundations. It was really hard for me to narrow down to just 5. So I have 2 drugstore and 4 high-end. And the high-end ones also range in prices. So you have like your lower priced high-end items and then also your more expensive one. So first up, I'm starting off with my 2 favorite drugstore foundations at the moment. And I feel like this is really good to mention right now because summer is right around the corner. And I don't know if it's just me, y'all, but during the summertime, my skin can just be one big oily mess. So I love wearing a foundation that really keeps me matte. So first up, I have the CoverGirl Full Spectrum Matte Ambition. And I was actually torn between the CoverGirl Matte Ambition and the CoverGirl Matte Made. In my opinion, both those foundations are excellent. I love them both. But I like this one just because I feel like this one looks a little bit more natural and more skin-like to me. And also it provides a much more even, more fuller coverage. As opposed to with the Matte Made foundation, it's a great foundation, don't get me wrong, but you're gonna have to do a little more work as far as getting it to be really nice and even all over. And this one is really seamless and easy to work with. And this one right here, you guys, controls my oil amazingly. It does such a great job of keeping me intact all day. Now, of course, none of these foundations are gonna be completely oil proof because you just can't help it. Like, your skin just naturally produces oil. And so you can't completely prevent your skin from looking oily, but you can use a good foundation like this one here to kind of keep it intact and kind of keep it from looking super greasy. I am in the shade Tan Golden 2, and I love this shade. It's very lightweight, it's long lasting, and it's great for oil controls. Now, I will say that the shade range from this is not my favorite one, which is why I'm doing this one first. I love the consistency of it. Not a huge fan of the shade range. The way they did the shade selections just aren't the best for our skin tone because they have like a lot of cools and just like orangey toned ones. They just don't look really pleasant on our skin. So it's like it's really hard to find one that matches your exact skin tone. And the ones, in my opinion, that actually look good on your brown skin are very limited. So that's my only gripe about this foundation line, is just the shade range is just not my favorite at all. Okay, next up is going to be my new favorite drugstore foundation at the moment. Y'all, this is definitely like a summertime staple, okay? That is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. Now, this foundation does claim to have 24-hour wear. I don't ever wear makeup for that long, so I'm not quite sure about that. But I can tell you that it does last a very long time. I did do a whole review video on this foundation, so if you haven't seen it, I'll leave the link down to it below. But this one, oil control is phenomenal. Also, shade range in this is also really great. For it to be a drugstore brand, I'm actually really proud of L'Oreal for launching a pretty wide range of shades in this foundation. Now, of course, I don't believe it's like, you know, FENTY level, like 40 shades. I don't believe it's 40 shades, but it is cheap enough that if you can't find your exact shade range, I mean, you may have to just buy 2 and mix them. But it's cheap enough and it's good enough that I would actually recommend doing that. I am in the shade Hazelnut, 510 Hazelnut. It's a perfect match for me, which never ever happens with drugstore foundations. They'll usually be, you know, a little bit off as far as undertone goes. I don't have to just go in and fix it with concealer or powder or whatever. This one here is like probably like one of the best matched drugstore foundations I've ever found. and I love it. It also does have sunscreen. It has SPF 25, so again, great for the summertime. So if it'll be out for a long period of time, just go ahead and put a little bit of this on your face. You know, you'll have some sun protection and also have a really nice, flawless face. Okay, so now onto my quote-unquote higher end foundations. Now, first up is going to be an OG, and I'm showing this one because this is probably one of my all-time favorite foundations that I've ever worn. I believe it may have actually been the first high-end foundation I purchased, but I think it is a staple. It's a holy grail, and you can never go wrong with MAC Studio Fix Fluid. This is just an OG. Now, I'm in the shade NC46. I love that they have the pumps now, so you can actually purchase a pump from the store and get it with the foundation. But this is honestly an OG. I believe it's like 25 bucks, something like that. It's not crazy expensive at all. If you love full coverage, you will love the Studio Fix Fluid. This is definitely one of the most full coverage foundations I've ever tried in my life. It covers literally everything, and it also wears really well. So if you have oily skin or plan on wearing it for a long period of time throughout the day, this is a really, really, really good one to reach for. The only thing about this one is that because it is such a full coverage, it can be a bit heavy. So this one here is definitely not the most skin-like foundation if you are going for that. It's definitely a little bit heavier and definitely really, really, really full coverage, really heavy duty. But it is great. And of course, MAC has an amazing shade range. So if you are a woman of color who's looking for, a higher end, but not crazy price foundation to check out, then definitely MAC Studio Fix Fluid is it's an OG. Like, you just cannot go wrong with this. So this is one of my newer favorites, and by newer I mean like within the past like 2-3 months I have fallen in love with this one, and this is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Now, funny thing is that I had actually mentioned the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in my top 5 favorite concealers video, and of course I had to go ahead and throw in the foundation in here as well, just because the foundation acts just like the concealer in the sense that it gives the most beautiful, even, smooth coverage and finish, but it's also very lightweight. So the name Born This Way is actually pretty accurate because it does make your skin look like skin, and that was really, really, really important for me when I picked this one out, because I wanted it to really have a very natural skin-like finish, and this one does just that. It's one of the easier foundations to pick up because whenever you go into the store, like I got this one from Ulta, so whenever I went into Ulta, on the display, it actually says the undertones of each of the foundations. So this one here, I had the shade Maple. It's my perfect shade, and I believe Maple is a neutral. I can't remember if it's a neutral or a golden, but it'll tell you if the shade is a neutral or a golden or a cool or a warm or whatever it is. So it makes picking the right shade a lot easier, which I do like. And they do have a very, very, very wide range of shades. So whether you're, super fair skinned or, really deep skinned, then you'll definitely find something for you. Alrighty, and then next up, you guys probably guessed this one, I also included the concealer in my concealers, or my favorite concealers video. This one is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation. Now, I won't go too much about this because I did recently do a full face of Fenty products where I raved about the foundation. I have loved it since I originally tried out the Fenty products, over a year or 2 ago, however long it was, but I love, 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 love this foundation. It wears really well. I like the consistency because it's very liquidy, if that makes sense, which means that whenever you apply it, it's very, very, very lightweight. It's really easy to blend it out and to, give yourself a really full, even coverage, and it does give you full coverage. This one looks really good on, it covers everything, and it also wears really, really well. So that's why I love this one. And of course, I can't forget to mention the bomb range of skin complexions for the Fenty foundation. Rihanna killed it whenever she launched the Fenty brand, and just her philosophy of inclusivity and just really, really, really creating shades for all of us. I applaud her for that. And if you are a woman of color who has struggled with finding your foundation in any other brand, you'll find one in Fenty. And then last up, I have my all-time favorite foundation, which I'm sure you guys can guess because I mention it all the time, y'all. And that is my LANCOME Tint Idol Ultra Wear Foundation. Now, I actually never know if I'm pronouncing the word tint or taint. I don't know. I think it's French. But anyways, I pronounce it as Tint Idol Ultra Wear Foundation. Now, this one, I love this one because it literally combines all of those in one. Okay, so it gives you amazing, flawless coverage. Okay, now it's not matte at all, but it's also not dewy. It's like right in the middle. It's like the perfect finish because, like I said, I can't really do dewy foundations because of my skin and like how it works. However, this one gives just like a really nice, natural, radiant finish that looks flawless year round. Okay, so great coverage, love the finish. The shade range is amazing. Okay, like the shade range in this foundation here is a bomb. Now it is a little bit more pricey. I believe it's like $48, so it is a bit pricey, you guys, but it's so worth it. Y'all know I don't lie to y'all. I'm very, very honest. And this one here, I think is 100% worth the 48 bucks. Now I have had this one for probably over a year now, and I'm not even halfway done, which says a lot about this foundation because a little bit goes a long way, and it just buffs out so beautifully, and it just looks like skin. It looks so nice and natural, and it's just my favorite foundation. Like, it's lightweight. It, like, literally, I'm telling you, it literally takes all of these foundations and mixes it in one. So this is my ultimate go-to just for any occasion. Again, the FENTY is more so if I'm wearing foundation for a long period of time and I want something that's very lightweight, that, you know, has some coverage, but that still looks good throughout the day. The MAC Studio Fix Fluid, of course, is if I have like any extreme breakout, like if I have a scar, a scratch, like a new something on my face. This is heavy duty, full coverage, like will cover anything. It's a little bit heavier, so I typically won't wear this for a long period of time. And then the Too Faced Born This Way is definitely more so for a day where, you know, I want a very natural skin-like finish. Again, this is definitely more so about the skin. If you want like a really nice, flawless skin base, this is the one. But again, they're all amazing. And if you guys notice, again, the shades, they're all the same general shade range. So again, with my foundations, I tend to go more with like tan, golden, caramel colored foundations. Like, look at my chest, it's definitely very yellow. So whenever I go in the store, I just look for the one that looks about in that general area. And I'm typically always right. So they're kind of all in that same family. For more everyday, I do, not gonna lie, I do tend to use my drugstore foundations for more of my everyday wear just because it's cheaper and I wear it more often. So if I run out of it, I don't feel as bad. I personally think that you should have a plethora of foundations for different days because you never really know how you'll feel whenever you go to put your makeup on. And honestly, I know I'm not the only person who wants different looks and different finishes and different types of makeup for different days. So that's why I have a bunch of foundations and I definitely recommend every single one of them. So that is it, you guys, for my top 6 foundations, full coverage foundations for a woman of color and oily skin. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys did, let me know down below. Well, first of all, give it a thumbs up. And also let me know down below which one you want to see next. So I've done concealer, I've done foundation. What do you guys want to see me do next? So let me know down below. So I'll go ahead and shut up and stop rambling, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.